Hey, what's happening everybody? Jon Denton here with another episode of State of Play. Alright, on this episode I'm going to be talking about the announcement of the PlayStation Plus price hike. Okay, on with the show. So as you've probably seen by now, Sony have put out an email and a press release and website stories that PlayStation Plus is going to go up from $39.99 a year in UK and pound sterling up to $49.99 a year, 25% price hike, and people are up in arms, and I can totally understand why. The concept of charging for online is nothing new. We've been paying for Xbox Live for a long time, and in PlayStation Plus, since the PS4 came in, was obviously what you needed to pay for in order to be able to play online, along with getting access to the free games library. And it's something that many gamers, myself included, just kind of take for granted as part of the package these days. PC gamers, less so because they're not used to having to pay for online services. But when you break it down per month, it's not too steep, and plus you do get the free games. So with stuff like Rocket League, Velocity 2X, Life is Strange, a few other things that have popped up over the last few months, I do feel like it's paid for itself. But there is something about life, there is something about how we are as people, there's something about society that if you're giving somebody something for a certain price and then you decide to up that price and you don't offer them anything more in return, then people are going to kick off about it. And a 25% price hike is a significant one. It really is a significant one. So I guess I wanted to break it down. Understandably, after nearly 4 years of the PS4 being out, the price is going to go up. It's the same if you live in rented accommodation. After that amount of time, you've got to really expect for your price to go up. If you subscribe to any other service, be it a digital entertainment service or whatever it is, you expect that price to go up. But that 25% price hike is a bit of a kick in the teeth. So it comes down to two things. It comes down to supply and demand. It's the basis of capitalism. And it comes down to how Sony has done this tactically, in terms of PR, in terms of the feedback that they're going to get. And then there's the third factor as well, in that you probably won't need to actually pay that much if you know what you're doing, you know where to pay for the service. But regardless, that's now the RRP, so even the clever ways of paying for it will still raise. So what's that first point then? Quite simply, Sony believes that by raising that price by 25%, the profit that they'll make, the revenue that they'll bring in from that extra £10 a year for subscribers is going to outweigh the amount that they may potentially lose, probably significantly, and they're probably right in that respect. And when you break it down into that pure kind of calculated level of capitalism, it's a totally understandable move, and it's a move that happens across every single subscription service, entertainment service that you can imagine, from Netflix to satellite cable TV to anything else. The only way to see how that works out is to look at it from a long-term point of view, and look in a year, look where the subscribers are, look where their profit margins are, look if they change course, or if they change their mind, if they decide to reduce the price again, or make a quick tactical move in that respect, then we'll see what happens. If not, then it's obviously been the right move for them. There are millions and millions of PS4s out there. This thing is still selling like wildfire. They're moving into another Christmas season, which is obviously the biggest time of year for games. And quite frankly, this is obviously what internally they believe that they can do, but it does smack of the same kind of arrogance. Perhaps arrogance isn't the right word, perhaps complacency is the right word, and it's the same complacency that maybe we saw in Sony's E3 press conference this year, which didn't have the pomp and circumstance of everybody else's. It was literally just trailer after trailer after trailer. Felt like a company sort of in their rhythm, comfortable with the fact that they're doing well, but not really trying to push boundaries anymore. And this feels like they think, well, maybe we can get away with this. And quite frankly, they probably could. And also, to move on to my second point, it's about tactics, right? Understandable, after 4 years, the price is going to go up or something. That's just the way the market is, that's the way business works. But here, for example, I was with Virgin Media for a long time, about 4 or 5 years. And when I first signed up for my package, it was about $66 a month. That includes my broadband, Sky Sports, a few other things like that. I think that was a deal that ended up being around $80, so not an inexpensive amount by any stretch, but that's the package we chose. Now, gradually, I'd receive letters in the post every 3, 4, maybe 5 months. We're raising the price by £2 here, we're raising the price by £3 here, enough to make you think, oh, that's a bit annoying. But you kind of ignore it, but they'd always balance it out with, but you're getting faster broadband speeds, here's why, but you're getting these extra TV channels. it was a tactical thing. And then suddenly I realised that I was suddenly paying a ridiculous over £120 a month for the package that I'd previously been paying basically half that for just a few years ago. And so I've cancelled and moved on. But it goes to show that in people with busy lives, if you use those tactics, they're kind of a little bit surreptitious, a little bit calculated, a little bit sneaky. But it was much more palatable for me in a busy life to receive that information and move on when I saw it was a small price hike gradually over time, and I saw that I was getting something for it. Doesn't make it right, doesn't make it any better, and I think the level of price hike was enough to mean that supply and demand, to go back to the first point. Okay, I said, I don't demand this anymore, I'm jumping off. And it'll be interesting to see if a company like Virgin Media can sustain that level of constant price hikes and maintain such a large customer base, especially when I was able to move across the sky and almost bring my bills all the way back down to where I was at the beginning when I first signed up with Virgin Media. You have to think that tactically Sony could have come with this price hike but brought something with it, like an enhancement to the PlayStation Plus thing, perhaps a way of breaking into PlayStation Now, you know, perhaps 3 months of PlayStation Now, or like a different tiered service for that. Not that that's a particularly palatable service for most of us, but I know people want to use it. You want to feel like if you're being asked for an extra £10 a year, and it's not a huge amount, but when somebody comes into your house and suddenly demands 25% more of what they've been asking for before and offers you nothing in return, you're going to get the kind of reaction that we're seeing right now on Twitter. And I think it might be a poor tactical move, and perhaps a slight indication of a level of complacency and a level of slight arrogance from Sony, that they think they can get away with this, and they think that the sort of negative PR and the eventual fall-offs of people unsubscribing to the service will be outweighed by the fact that you've got Destiny 2 coming out, which is going to require it, of course, COD World War II, other massive games, Star Wars Battlefront, other games that require that online service, and people will stick with it. And I'm sure most people will. And of course, if you're smart, you're going to go and find the download cards on websites like CD Keys or other websites, even eBay, where you're going to be able to get that year's service for cheaper. And a quick tip, if you are watching a video and you don't know this already, this stuff doesn't come into effect until August 31st, so you can still buy a further 12 months should you want to at the current rate for the next month, at the time of recording anyway, and that will stack. So it will stack on top of your current subscription rather than overlapping it, so you won't lose any months. So definitely do that if you're coming towards the end. In fact, probably do that anyway if you've got capital to be able to do that now. So I'm keen to get your thoughts on this one. Obviously, Twitter's kicking off. I'm watching comment threads on different websites kick off, and people are pissed off, and it's understandable. It's a perfectly normal human reaction. If you do try and take a step back and look at it from sort of market and capitalist point of view, it's understandable. But that's not always what you want to hear when someone knocks on your door and just asks for more money for nothing else. It's just the simple fact of life. It's how we function as human beings. So I'm interested in your thoughts. Please leave a comment. Let's have a good discussion going in the comments about this. Will you be jumping off PlayStation Plus? Do you think this isn't right? What should Sony have done to soften this blow? Is the price hike too much? Perhaps if they'd done 2 installments of £5 over the 4 years that the PS4 has been around, or nearly anyway, then it wouldn't have been such a dramatic blow. Do we need more AAA games in PlayStation Plus to be able to justify this price hike? Let me know in the comments. Okay, that's going to be State of Play for this week. If you're new to the channel, please do remember to subscribe for more stuff like this, for a ton of live streams, for all sorts of things. Gaming from an industry veteran. I've been writing about video games professionally for well over 12 years now. God, that makes me feel old. I've been doing this a long time. We're trying to translate that into the YouTube channel and also create a really buzzing community around games, talking about it in about as passionate a way as possible. Everything from the negative like this all the way to just enjoying and loving the stuff that's coming out. Okay, enough from me. Like I said, I've been Jon Denton. Thank you very much for watching. I will catch you on the next video. Peace!